Hello everyone. Welcome to day 16 of the 21-day yoga challenge. As we progress into this 21-day challenge, you must have noticed that the practice is a lot more stronger and intense. And today we're going to do a very strong solid practice of arm balancing. So most of it is going to be requiring us to bear the entire body weight on our arms. What I've planned for today's session is that we'll focus on two main arm balancing asanas, the very popular Bakasana or the crow pose and the Vasishtasana, which engages a lot of your core as well. But how we're going to do this is going to be a lot more interesting. So I'm going to incorporate these asanas into the standard Surya Namaskar. And not only this, we will modify every single asana in the Surya Namaskar to make it either an arm strengthening posture or an arm balancing posture. And the reason I like to do this is pretty simple, because every day when I do my Surya Namaskars as a warm up, then I'd like to include a little bit of what is my theme for the day. So whether it's balancing or back bends or arm balances, I'd like to do a warm up that's specific to it. So this variation of the Surya Namaskar can help serve as a warm up for your arm strengthening and arm balancing practice. And you could just do it every once a week or you could just do it every once a week or once in 15 days, and this could be enough to serve as your arms workout. Now, a few foundational basics before we get into today's practice. So we're going to be using a lot of our wrist and the palm onto the mat today. So I would advise you use a sort of a cushion mat. So here today I'm using 2 rubber mats. All right. And as usual, I use my dari, which you've been seeing every day, because I personally don't like to practice on like this synthetic rubber. And if you use natural rubber mats, they are super heavy. Anyways, I just don't like the sweaty feeling between the mat and my hand. So I always prefer using a khadi or a dari mat over it. Whenever you place your palms onto the floor, then make it really wide and star shaped. So you don't want to be placing like cupped hands or tight or clasped fingers together. Next thing, you're going to be really digging into the ground using your fingertips. So keep your fingertips nice and active, and also the base of your palm is going to be used a lot. Another important thing, like I said, you're going to be using your wrist joint a lot. So feel free to take breaks, guys, because the entire day, again, you're going to be using your hands and you don't want it to be in a lot of pain. So let's get started. Coming to the top of your mat, bring your feet together. Pressing your feet into the mat, strengthen the legs, the glutes, extend up from your waist, chest comes out and the shoulders are rolled back. Hands come to heart center. As you inhale, extend the arms out sideward and bring it up above the head. The palms are facing each other. Extend and lengthen from your waist. Interlock the fingers and come to Badhyanguli Asana. And here we're going to check the alignment of your arms. So many people, when they take their arms up, then it could be something like this, or it could be just over-exerted like this. So you just want to interlock the fingers. Look up at the palms, make sure it's parallel to the ground. Have your biceps gently touching the ears. So you notice that my arms are straight. And in this position, just keep extending up. Now turn your palm around, facing up to the ceiling. Your elbows roll out. Look up again at your palms to make sure they're parallel to the ground. And extending the hands up. So pushing your hands as if you want to aim at pushing the ceiling higher up as you breathe normally. And with this, you must start to feel a slight burn in your arms if you're doing it properly. So hold this posture and now try to pull your palms apart. So you're not essentially really pulling them apart like this away from each other, but you're keeping it interlocked and making a pulling action. So I'm going to like slightly pull it like this, okay? And my elbows are going to push sideways. So I'm going to slightly push the elbows sideward and pull the arms. And again, you should be feeling a good burn in the arms. So keep pulling the arms but straighten the elbow and bringing your hands forward in front of your chest. As you do this, push outside. Push the palms away from you and keep pushing for 5, 4, 3, push further away, and 1. And then bringing your palms downward the same way. So I'm going to just turn around. And now you can place your palms slightly ahead of you. Right, let me just come back a little bit. So place your palms slightly ahead of you. Most people should be able to reach here, but if you're not, then of course you can reach on the bricks. So you come up on the bricks, and while we're here, instead of going to the Ashwasanchalanasana pose, we will try some basics of Bakasana or the crow pose. That is, we're going to try some beginner variation of the crow pose. So you can place your hands on the brick, bend the knees, and try to come on your tiptoes. So keep trying to do this. Just swing back and forth, coming onto the arms. And then try to come completely on the tip of the toes. So I'm going to come on the tip of the toes, and my entire weight is now on the arms. So I'm just going to try to hold this for a couple of seconds and release. I'm going to hold it again for a couple of seconds and release. And this time I'm going to hold it up here. I'm going to try to take one leg off and bring it back. Relax, go up again. Try to take the left leg off. Now you need not take your leg up so high, so you can keep it very close to the ground as well. So come up on your toes, lift up one leg so that you can easily just drop it back again. Let's do it on the left leg, lift up. Notice how I'm bringing the thighs very close to the abdomen. And lift the other leg up, left leg, and releasing. Ideally, for you to get into Bakasana, your arms can be slightly closer to each other. So I'm going to adjust the brakes. And we try to go up with both feet together, but you can just give it a try. You need not be able to completely do this posture today because it's one of the more advanced asanas, so you can take your time to actually perfect this posture. Bending the knees, bringing it close to the chest, abdomen close to the thigh, and bend your elbows, placing the knees close to the underarm as much as possible. You can keep a slight distance between your feet. I'm going to bend my elbows, bend the knees, bringing the knees close to the chest, the abdomen close to my thighs, and try to get again on my tiptoes and try to just lift up. So just do this much, bend, just try to get on and come back. Just try to hop onto your arms and come back. Whenever you hop on, make sure that your form is correct. It's actually a lot more easier without the bricks. That is, if you're feet and hands are at the same level. In fact, I feel that if your feet are at a slightly higher level, then it's even easier, because I'll show you why. It's because we bend our elbows and try to put the knees into the underarm, right? So if this is higher, then it's a lot more difficult, as opposed to if your legs are on something higher. So let's just experiment with this. Yeah, so can you see how easy it is? My legs are higher, so I can easily just get onto my underarms. It's just like a few inches away, and then I can just come up on my post and get back. Just try to come up, get back, right? And if you reach up here, or you can just try to do one leg at a time, lift the other leg off. Just lift the other leg off, right? Just lift the other leg off. This leg is still on the ground. Take both legs on tiptoes, just lift one leg off. Then try lifting the other leg off. So you can just do this as well. But then again, as you get practicing, it's always easier to just lift both legs off and surrender into the pose. So something like this. Bend the elbows, bend the knees, take it up into your underarms, and come up into your beautiful crow pose. Holding it here, digging into the mat with your fingertips. Keeping your gaze steady and coming back. So if I forgot to mention this when I was talking about the foundational basics, then it's really, really important in any balancing asana of yoga, whether it's arm balancing, leg balancing, or just general balancing of the body, that you keep your gaze fixed at a point in front of you, because our eyesight really helps maintain the balance in our body, and also it helps you take off any stress or tension that you're holding in the neck while trying to balance yourself. So if you've forgotten, we were in the middle of our Surya Namaskar. We started with this, and then we came down and we tried a little bit of a Bakasana here. So you can include this into your Surya Namaskar practice. And then going ahead with our usual Surya Namaskar, the right leg goes back and looking straight ahead. Let's modify this posture to include an arm strengthening variation here. So just bend the knees and place it on the mat. Lift your front leg off by pushing the back leg into the mat. So you come up, something like this, and release, look up. You inhale, pull up, exhale, push down. Just one more time, inhale, pull up, and exhale, releasing down. If you wish, you can also tuck the back toe in and pull up, taking the front leg up off the mat. And now moving on with our Surya Namaskar. So let's come to Dandasana as we exhale. Now, of course, the Dandasana or the plank is one of the most foundational postures in arm strengthening. So adding some fun element to it, let's try some variations. So you can lift your right leg off, place it parallel to the ground. And when this happens, make sure that your hip is not going way too high. So you hold the same posture of the body, just that your right leg comes parallel to the ground. And then lifting the left leg off, again taking it parallel to the mat, dropping it down. You can also rest in between if that's too much for you, but not to rest the body completely. In order to make it an active rest, just lunge the hips forward, take the feet off the ground, and you still have some weight on your hands. In fact, the entire body weight is still on your hands. Now going back to our variations. To make it more intense and challenging, you can lift the opposite hand and leg up. Hold it here, bring it back down. Now to do it on the other side, inhaling, The left hand goes up and the right leg goes up. Holding it here and dropping back. Coming back to the plank. Let's do one last variation by coming down on the elbows. Again, the body is solid like a plank. You don't have your hips going too low or keeping it too high. And now for a much needed relaxation or a break in between, drop the knees down. Release your hands. Drop the chest down and the forehead or the chin down. Your hands are beside your chest, the elbows facing upward for the Ashtanga Namaskar. So taking a couple of breaths here. Breathe deeply. And inhaling, pushing the body forward. We come up to the Bhujangasana, continuing with our Surya Namaskar. The Bhujangasana itself is an arm strengthening posture. But again, if you want to add a little bit of a challenge to this, then you can come down for the first variant of the Bhujangasana, that is until your ribs, and you can stretch the arms out forward and bring it back. Keeping the palms parallel to the ground, the forearms are parallel to the ground. Stretch forward and stretch it back. Use tension in your arms. This is great for arm strengthening again. Stretch forward and bring it back. You could even interlock the fingers back and stretch up. You can do the Badhyanguli Asana again. Stretch up, interlock the fingers the other way around and push back. Lifting the chest up and relax. Placing the hands again beside the chest, coming up to Bhujangasana. You can tuck the toes in, push forward, pushing the hips upward, pushing the hands and feet into the mat. You can take your feet slightly apart, hip width apart, and try the variations that we did on the day as a preparation for the headstand. So taking my right palm in the center, the left palm can go to hold my right ankle. And taking this back, left hand comes to center, the right hand reaches out back towards my left ankle. So again, most of the weight is on your single arm forward. So these are also great arm balancing exercises. Now pushing the arm, pushing the hips up. And now from the Parvat Asana, we're going to come into a beginner variation of the Vasishthasana. So I'm going to drop my left knee down, take my palms slightly forward and roll over to my side. The left leg comes onto the inside of my foot and stretch my arm up. So make sure that this arm is perpendicular to the mat such that it's carrying the entire weight. Coming back to Adho Mukha Shavasana, we do this on the other side. So dropping my right knee down, coming onto my side, my right hand comes up. And now again coming back to Adho Mukha Shavasana, place my left hand down on the mat, take the right leg back, come to Parvat Asana. And for the next variation of Vasishthasana, I'm going to again drop my left knee onto the mat, come onto my side, lift the arm up and also lift my right leg up parallel to the mat. So let's get doing this quickly on the other side. Coming back to Adho Mukha Shavasana, dropping the left knee down, turning onto my side, hand goes up and finding your balance, even the left leg goes up. Make sure that the leg is parallel to the ground and your active hand resting on the mat is perpendicular to the ground. Coming back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stretching up, stretching out the arms, releasing any tension. And now for the next variation, just roll both your feet onto the side, bringing the arm up. Lift the right leg and place it in front of you at right angle to the ground. And in all of these postures of the Vasishthasana, please make sure that your hip is not downward like this. So you're always lifting up from the hip, especially away from the mat. Let's get doing this on the other side. So coming on your side, lifting the right leg up, placing it in front of you at a right angle. And releasing, you can bring the hand down first and take the leg back if that's comfortable. And going back to our Adho Mukha Svanasana. And now we're going to actually come into the Vasishthasana posture itself. This is not a variation, but the asana. You just come on your side. So bringing both your feet either on top of each other, the hand comes up, or you can have the feet next to each other this way. So both your feet are staying on the mat, or they can be one on top of the other. So this is the Vasishthasana. Again, the lower side of the hip is always pushing away from the mat. Let's do this on the other side. Just flipping over and hold the strong posture. Hand comes up. And the feet again can be both feet on the ground or one on top of the other. And again, taking a break, coming back to our Adho Mukha Svanasana. Extend the back, extend the arms. And now we try out the next 2 to 3 variations on the same side and then repeating them on the other side. Lift the upper leg higher up and you can bring it on the thigh or extending it outward. Grab hold of the big toe and stretch the leg up, pulling the hips up. That is pulling your lower hip away from the mat. And dropping it back down, coming back on my knees. Sitting back and stretching it out. So if you remember, we were in the Parvatasana or the Adho Mukha Svanasana phase of our Surya Namaskar. So let's just continue the Surya Namaskar by bringing the right leg forward again in between the palms, and again finishing it off with the variation that we did in the beginning. That is placing your knee down and lifting it up and down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale, the front leg goes up and exhale down. Bring the feet back up between the palms. Both feet come together as you exhale, interlocking the hands again and taking it straight up. Stretching the palms out completely, facing up towards the sky and releasing the hands, coming back to Namaskarasana. Whew. So this was the Surya Namaskar with an arm balancing integrated into it. And now for some relaxation, because your wrists, palms, your fingers really need it. Please come down to sitting in Vajrasana. You can bend your wrists as if the fingers are facing you, and you can place the back of your palm down on your thigh. And just roll forward and back, pressing your wrists into the thighs. You can also do this forwards. So just stay here for some time and also do this sideways outward. So press, you can even bend the elbows. going to show it to you from this angle as well. So you're going to look a little crippled doing this, but it's pretty relaxing for your wrist joints as well as your palms. And again, pointing the fingers towards yourself, just push back, stretching out the forearms and the arms. You just place the fingers down on the mat and push the fingers down this way. And then pulling the palms towards yourself, this as well, sideways, sideways, outward and outward. Releasing off any tension in my palms. Just rotate your wrists a little bit, slowly if you'd like to, and rotate the wrists on the other side. They've done a lot of work for you today, so take care of them, give them a little rest, maybe give them a little massage through the day. In fact, they work for us every single day, but we don't bother taking care of them. So just massage out your fingers a little bit, one by one. Massage the base of your right hand, fingers, and relax. So I really hope you liked today's session. For me, it was definitely a fun and slightly challenging workout today. Do write to me and let me know how your practice goes. Stay healthy, stay fit, and namaste.